7 seconds. All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give my honor, glory, and praises due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Also want to give them honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, Stephen Street of Sincerity, and also Ruel, these citations to the hopeful elect that scattered from across the earth, you so-called Negroes, Latino Hispanics, the American Indians, you know, the true Israelites is coming out the elect nation of Israel. All right, this is Brother Yuanathon from Great Millstone, Detroit. You know, just taking a little small walk to the store. So I was like, yo, let's do a lesson through the spirit that was on my lob. You know, I don't know, I was just watching some videos and I just be looking at IUIC and I'm like thinking, man, do these people, like, you know, we all have our things and on our mind, like, you know, are these people, are these people selling out to the bag? Because you got scriptures that talks about it, you know, doing things for filthy lucre. You know, Titus, you got, you know, the Matthew 6:24, you can't serve the Lord and mammon. But, you know, just these organizations, like, you know, IUIC, in my opinion, 441, oh shit. IUIC, then you look at these fraternities, you look at Hollywood, you know, the illuminated ones, you know, things like that. Because, like, when you get, you know, certain records, like in Maccabees, the first chapter, when it talks about, you know, when it came to the Israelites, to give them license to do the ordinance of the heathens, roughly paraphrasing, you know. And, you know, when you get in Ecclesiastes 1-9, it talks about there's nothing new, you know, I think, 1-9 tells you that there's nothing new under the sun. So everything repeats itself. And then when I was watching 300, the movie 300, how he was just like, yo, I can give you riches, this, that, and the third, if you was to join and have an allegiance with me, you know. And then I get into like things like not Greek, but fraternities, especially for, you know, first I think they believe they started for the Negroes, but there are Hispanic fraternities out there as well, you know. And then you look at the IUIC and the so-called Omegas, they got the same colors on. But, I mean, it probably had nothing to do with each other. It's just, you know, my thoughts. But regardless, even if you're in a fraternity, you know, it's the same thing when Leonidas went to Xerxes in that 300 movie, you know, wanted his son alliance to be with him. But that's the same thing with today. I noticed once you are in a fraternity, you have more pull. But, you know, who else was one of the great rulers, you know, at the time, you know, before the Romans? The Greeks, you know, doing all types of wickedness. You know, I forgot what that show was that on Peacock that the brother showed us. You know, you see Titus, Domitian. It was I know Titus was in it. It's either Vespasian and I think Domitian. But you know, you can see how things were in the Greeks. You know, everything was kind of some freak off shit. You know, and you know, when I was in the world, when I was a little boy, you know, my dad would always try to persuade me, yeah, you should be a part of this, a part of that, you know, but something just felt off, you know, because it's, you know, I would hear things, I'm not sure if it was all, some of my fathers taught me, but certain things I learned from other people. You know, being paddled, being branded, standing outside with just your boxers on in the cold. That's just wicked, and that's off. I wouldn't say necessarily lewdness, but that's something that the Lord isn't dealing with. You know, you're not supposed to make any pledges. So when you in a fraternity, what do? You pledge, but you're not supposed to make any oaths, pledges, or oaths, pledges. It's another word that you could use for that. That you're supposed to, you only make oaths, pledges, promises, covenants to the Lord, man. That's why Romans 12:2 it says, do not be conformed to this world, but be renewed by your spirit, roughly paraphrasing. All right, because once you get into the philosophies of this world, they want you to be suit and tied up. Which is nothing wrong, even though you're not supposed to be wearing mixed fabrics. But, suit and tie, lined up, shaven. Leviticus tell you not to, either 19 or 20 or 21, it tells you not to make, corners or marring of your head or beard. Lying up, groomed, or scalping yourself. Okay? And then, like I said, when you get into like your Hollywood, the illuminated ones, bro, they get power off their little these rituals that they do. But you might get rich fame and fortune, but that causes your spirit, man. That defiles your spirit, because now you, like you said, brother did do a video about Diddy. I might, stumble around and watch it, but we all kind of knew, everybody in back then, kind of knew what was going on. Everybody had, is he this, is he that? But now it's coming to a point where everything is being exposed, to the world. Is that Luke the 12th chapter? Everything basically is going to come to light. Everything that's hidden in secret will be revealed. Okay? Slakia. But that was just on my mind, like, the only wise and smart thing to do, especially in these times, is just get your mind, body, spirit. I'm just trying to be quiet because there's an enemy next to me across the street. But get right with the Lord, man. Because as you can see, things is going bad. There's riots now going in, I believe, is that the UK? There's so many videos that's popping up that, man, I got to do some, it's nothing that you can't talk about. It's a lot going on right now. And the bot is coming. It's coming to, how you see the bubbles in the pot? It's about to come to that boil. Got the riots, the madness of the people, the war that's going on. Even Trump out his own mouth. It was I believe a brother put it up. It was just like a little tag on YouTube, basically, about World War III. You got Revelations that talks about, the two woes, and the third is come quickly. You got Matthew the 24th chapter when the disciples came to Yahushua asking what are the signs to look for, the signs and the tokens, because we prophesy. We're watchmen. We got to look out for these things. All right, but when it gets bad out here, The only option that you're going to go to, that you should be going to, is the Lord. You know, He's the refuge. You know, Psalms 91, Psalms 91. You know, get into this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, because it'll help you. You know, guide you. The Lord will guide you. The Lord will send His angels to guide you and protect you. If you see things is going up, you see people are acting more. Is this dog out the fence? Damn, this dog is out the fence. But hey, I got the Lord on me. Got the Lord with me. No, he's in the fence. But I was getting that. But yeah, this is really the only time that you can do is get with the Lord, because these idols, Satan ain't gonna deliver you out of these things. Let me see, I want to grab more. That was on my live because I was thinking hard. God, it was something that's Satan for you. It was a lot that I wanted to talk about that I had on my spirit. Because like I said, you see what they're doing to Jake, man. You see what they're doing to the northern and southern kingdoms, and it ain't gonna stop, man. It's not gonna stop. And you see these hypocrites, man. We wanna get you terrorists, we wanna get you immigrants. You saw you the biggest immigrant, biggest hypocrite. This stuff that you stole. And we still, and even your average Jake, know the history. But you wanna sweep that history under the rug. You know, you got John 10:10. Those receipts, you know, the thief coming to murder, steal, and kill. Roughly paraphrasing. Those receipts fit you. But we're the problem. Messing with Lil Pookie and Ray Ray, things like that. And yeah, when I was talking about Hollywood and all that, making us, like, you do something positive and you sweep that under the rug. Anything that's according to righteousness, especially when it comes to the Heavenly Father, because they can do something positive, you know, but the most positive thing to do is do the will of the Heavenly Father, you know. And you guys are gonna pay for it, man. You guys gonna pay for it, because y'all don't even know what y'all really are a part of and what you're supposed to do. Brother actually, you know, sent me a video short via Instagram of this pastor or somebody who used to teach. And you know how these churches do. He knew a little some lingo. He knew some lingo like, Lord, can you judge me by my works? You know, this, because he said he was at the gate, but he wasn't in. He just said, ask your question right now. And he said his voice was like thunder. He's talking about Yahweh shot. Slack. But you know, he was like, you know, I was doing stuff in the church, and you know how, like I stated earlier, you know how these churches are getting down. And basically the Lord just replied, man, your works is fucking vain. Because he's not doing what a true prophet is supposed to do. These pastors are getting exposed daily. You got people coming in your congregation, coming in as they are. You pushing the prosperity doctrine. You got Isaiah 30 preaching the smooth things. Lie, prophesy to us lies and deceits, so on and so forth. What else? Yeah. And of course, and then another thing is that He looked like an Edomite too. You know, try the spirit by the spirit. But yo, the Lord's working, man. It's a time where the receipts of the Lord presence is inevitable to deny. All right, I was watching this one video about Ephraim and some of these tablets, man, that they're finding, these ancient runes, if you want to use that word. You got the Hebrew on it. And I heard that some brothers actually went to, I think there's one in Mexico, and brothers did a video right up behind it, right in front of it. All right, man, it's time to, wake the fuck up. But nevertheless, I hope this video was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise due to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Akakudas. Shalom to the elders and apostles, a great millstone. I want to close out, say shalom.